The man, the boy, the mystery, young and old, and now even older. Who is the real Ken Myers? Join us tonight in this never-before-seen special report. We have searched high and low, spanning the globe in our quest to find out who this man really, truly is. Welcome, everybody. We're going to use this time to chronicle the life of Kenneth Myers, a paradox to many of us. Certainly a man who we all admire, question, try to understand the uncertainty that exists in the man's life. So we'll use this time through interviewing many of those closest to him to help us and take us on a journey to understand more about who this man is, Kenneth Charles Myers.
Fifty years, we're celebrating 50 years, 50 years, 50 years, and there is time for many more.
Thank you, Peter. We're here in Wellesley, Massachusetts, at the home of John and Cynthia Worrell. We've assembled a group of people who've known Ken a long time. In some cases, a long time. Let's face it, Ken's 50 now, and that's old.
Because it's 50 years.
So Ken, on this joyous occasion, I came upon you kind of by accident by having a roommate that you happened to go to high school with, John. So that's how you ended up in my life. And you know, you've been around for a long time. They asked me to describe who the real Ken Myers was, and actually I had a really hard time coming up with anything. So I'm very anxious to watch the end of this movie and see who the real Ken Myers is. So, happy 50th. I'm glad you beat me there by a few months, but I'll be joining you pretty soon. Happy birthday.
And there is time for many more.
He was, before he was even born, he was very alive and active. And Ken, you didn't come calmly into the world. You came in like a rocket, and in fact they had to give me a shot to slow you down because you were coming so fast. And you've been running ever since. You've been moving every minute.
I don't know much about you, I don't know who you are. We've been doing fine without you, but we could only go so far. I don't know why you chose us, were you watching from above? Is there someone there that knows us, said we'd give you all our love? Laugh just like your mother? Will you sigh like your old man? Will something skip a generation like I've heard they often can? Are you a poet or a dancer, a devil or a clown, or a strange new combination of the things we've handed down?
Ken, we're happy to be here, and we're happy that you're still here. And 50 isn't the end of the world. I remember when you were only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and the years seemed to go by just that fast, because you and the other two gave us a pretty fast life.
Will you be a sad reminder of what's been lost along the way? Maybe you can help me find her and the things you do and say. And these things that we have given you, they are not so easily found. Oh, but you can thank us later for the things we've handed down. The things we've handed down.
Jesus, I'm glad with this is over. I don't even like the guy that much. I gotta go through this and look like an idiot, but it's just...
Happy birthday, Joe!
I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that sun goes down. I'm gonna find my baby. Woo! Oh, that
I was actually talking to a friend this morning about Ken because it was a lot of Ken that inspired me to start doing this again. I met him and he was just this wonderful kind of guy that wasn't a builder but was creative and had a good head and was easy to get along with, and I had a ball with the guy. You know? The first project that I did had the cedar shingles and dark green trim, which was something that Ken did on that house. You know, and that's that's a lot of what design is. If someone copies you, that's like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Lisa and I first met Ken at an art auction that was done in Marshfield, I believe. And I'll tell you the story a little. We met Ken at an art auction, and it became very apparent that none of the art being displayed was done by a local or famous artist. In fact, we were in the equivalent of a Holiday Inn art auction. Ken then became immediately concerned as he noticed a Velvet Elvis came up. And he realized Velvet Elvis, number one, was not done by a famous artist, and by no means was done by a local artist. Then Ken's concern for others really kicked into gear as he began to loudly and firmly notify others not to bid on the Velvet Elvis because it was, in fact, not a masterpiece. Ken wanted to make sure that others did not overbid and pay too much for this. These are some of the qualities that we know and love for Ken for.
Not only does Ken have an appreciation for fine art, he's also musically gifted.
Ken was a very accomplished woodwind player in high school. Most people don't know this about him, but he started off with the clarinet and he progressed to the saxophone. And he also played the guitar, and as you know, he was in the marching band.
Lynn Lenhart is a woman in Duxbury who actually grew up in Connecticut with Ken Myers. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hi Ken, happy birthday, happy 50th. Can't believe that you're that old because I'm not. You remember Bob? Bob came down to film
Ken,
for you.
long time no see. I know Lynn's in touch with you a lot. Happy 50th. I'm in Tucson, Arizona now, but I do remember a few things about you when you were younger.
He came all the way back just to film this.
Just to film this, that's correct, yeah. I remember our one-on-one football games in your backyard where I think I used to win like 90-7. And your glasses would fall off quite often.
Oh, I forgot about the glasses.
I do remember that.
Tortoiseshell glasses.
But I do also remember having a lot of fun up at your parents' cabin up in Vermont, so that was a lot of cool snowball fights and stuff like that. So, but yeah, happy birthday. I'm not quite 50 yet either, so good luck with that.
Are you reeling in the years? stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine?
And what was my other thing? Oh, I know. Your different career choices is what I wanted to discuss. I think you had a newspaper route. You took care of the pets in the neighborhood. But an ice cream truck? I do remember you being an ice cream man, right?
Yeah.
The ice cream man.
I actually moved to Ridgefield, Connecticut in 1975. Didn't know a soul. For some reason I ended up going to church, which was quite odd in and of itself. But I met Ken there, and actually, in all seriousness, we got to know each other fairly well, and we went on retreats and things like that. That's Ken kind of in the background. It's tough to see him there, but he was there. So in case you didn't know if he went to church or not, he actually did at least some point in his life. He was actually one of the cool guys, and he had lots of friends, always the center of attention and things like that. He was actually so cool, in fact, that you're not going to believe this outfit. This is the senior prom picture, and he is really, really pretty sharp in the powder blue with ruffles on the shirt.
Looking for some happiness, but there is only loneliness to find. To the left, to the right, looking upstairs, looking behind.
We recognize that you grew up to be a handsome, sensitive, gracious young man who was pretty adept at thinking through problems and good at buying things. Do you remember that orange Datsun you bought? You took me down to look it over with you one morning, and I looked at it, and I couldn't see all the Play-Doh that the guy had put on the doors and the skin of that automobile. But you insisted you wanted it, so you got it. And the thing that I remember the most about that car was you were driving off to Westcon to show Yukon to show your girlfriend your new car, and the fan flew off into the radiator. You remember that trip?
Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way.
Come, let's stroll across the floor. Come, let's stroll across the floor. Now turn around, baby, let's stroll once more. Feels so good, take me by my hand. I feel so good, take me by my hand. And let's go strolling in Wonderland. Strolling, whoa, yeah, strolling, rock and rollin', strolling, well, rock my soul, how I love this stroll.
So most of you know that I was actually, in marketing profession most of my professional life. And, you could argue that I spent 20 years trying to get into ad age and things like that. Well, the only time in my career I got significant recognition as being good at marketing or even anything along those lines was when I was skiing down the damn ski slope in an ice cream bag. This is actually a true article from Advertising Age, the publication in the marketing industry. I was so jealous. The black and white doesn't do it justice. If you want to kind of look at the color photo, it kind of looks like that. But I think this is really what made my career, to be honest with you. So I thank you for that, Ken. I really do. I'm very, very sincerely. Thank you.
Is that
very
Ken in
much.
the corner right there?
Smart foot all around. He's got a Smart Foot boxer shorts on. So I'm up here, but he's kind of taking the grandstand down there. But that's the best I can do. So I'll be happy with it.
when you were first developing Smart Food, we sat on our porch and you pulled out a bag of popcorn that was white and said, "Here, taste this." And we did, and it was good. After you left, I remember looking at Dad saying, "Why doesn't he get a real job?"
One thing about Ken also that I wanted to mention is there was a little while, a few years when, we both have kids and growing up and things were going on. We didn't get to see as much of Ken as we were accustomed to. So, but it was great. At some point we all came back together. I think it was actually for a party at our house. And Ken came in the door. I hadn't seen him really in a couple of years. It was great to see him. He's that Viking friend that everybody wants to have, that there he was looking, all Norwegian or whatever. And I was really glad to see him and thinking about old times. And Ken comes in and he shakes my hand. "Jim, how are you?" And he's got a nice bottle of wine. And he immediately starts handing out pet snacks from his new company that he's the CEO of. And, it really touched me because I have pets. So, I felt really great about that. And actually, he gave me so many of these things. I'm assuming maybe they had some surplus. I don't know. I hope that's changed, but I think here's a pack of Pitter Pats in this pocket. Oh, wait a minute. Got another pack in this pocket, Ken, and wait, I think I know I had another one. I wanted to make sure I showed how generous Ken was. Oh, here's one. Yeah, so, Ken, that meant a lot to me that after not seeing you for so long, you thought of my cats. And you came and you were prepared to take care of them and also to push as much product as you could while you had a captive audience there of pet owners, of which so many of us are.
The most interesting thing about Ken is
He has a good sense of humor.
how he tells a story.
Hey, I have something to say. He's an awesome cook.
Oh,
He is.
Awesome.
And how long it takes to convey that story.
This is my first experience with Ken. He arrives at our apartment. Now let me put it in perspective. Our apartment isn't one of the nicest things when you first come out of college. It's a little cheap. 3 of us girls are living there. It happens to be a basement that we ever so fondly called the cave. The cave, keep that in mind. So Kenneth comes with the other boys to join us to go to a baseball game. Actually, we're all going to a baseball game. It's the first time meeting him. He enters the cave, looks around, says it needs some adornment, lays himself down on the floor, belly down, spread eagle, and calls himself a bearskin rug.
You look like
Burl Wives?
no. If Robert Redford and Nick Nolte had a baby,
If Robert Redford ate Nick Nolte, then he would look like this. Most of Nick Nolte is settled right about here. Yeah.
Tell us your first, favorite, or fondest memory of Ken.
Ken Myers. I don't have any fond memories of Ken Myers. But I think the funniest is his satisfying, his long-lasting big truck fetish. When he picked up the probably only 8-mile-a-gallon diesel truck sold in America in 2007. Dude, what do you got going on there? This guy's hot.
Mike knew me right after he got out of school. His aunt is good friends with my mother, so he looked me up and we became roommates. Mike knew Ken through some of his high school friends. So when Ken was looking for a place to stay, Mike invited him.
And have you ever forgiven him?
We couldn't get rid of him for 10 years. He was with us. So we had a lot of great memories. We sort of all grew up together. We were all...
Grow up? You think you've grown up?
Yeah, when is that going to happen exactly? Years ago, I was in a play, and it was a 3-act play. We were just getting ready to start the 3rd act when the stage manager came backstage and said there was a problem. Turns out someone in the audience wanted to leave before the play was over. They were parked in the driveway, and someone was parked behind them. So they wanted to know who it was parked behind them so they could move their car so they could leave. So everyone in the cast rushed to the window to see who the rude person was who wanted to leave before the play was over. Much to my horror, when I looked out the window, I saw Ken and Mike, his roommate, standing next to Ken's car in the driveway. So I opened the window and asked what they were doing and why they were leaving before the play was over. And Ken said, "Oh, we thought the play was over." So the fact that the other 200 people who were there that night to see the play were still in their seats apparently wasn't quite enough of a clue for Ken to realize that the play was actually over. So anyway, I suggested that they go back and sit down, and they did.
Now let's visit with Greg and Terry Auda, longtime neighbors and friends of Ken Myers, who've invited us to their home. We'll sit down with them and get some of their perspective about this historic occasion.
Do you remember, Tara, when we used to come here in the evenings and we just had such a great time with Ken and Deb and Peter and oh my God.
Yes, we did.
It was fabulous. And we sat right here on this deck and I recall peeing off that deck with Ken several times.
I recall falling off that deck several times.
I recall throwing up off this side of the deck over here at least once. But
I'm so proud of you, honey.
those were great times, weren't they?
They were. They were. It's just not the same. The neighborhood's just not the same.
Do you remember when Ken built this house?
I do.
Do you remember? See that railing and the post in the middle?
That's yours.
I actually helped him put that in.
I know you did, honey. I was so proud of you then, too.
Hon, why don't you just go back to the house?
Can we just have a minute, please?
I'm going to spend the night here if you don't
No,
mind.
no, not again, honey. No, honey, you have to come home with me.
No.
You have to come home.
I was really touched by what Greg had to say.
Well, he's so strange and weird. I don't even know who he is. I don't think anyone does.
So, who I think the real Ken Myers is someone with enormous talent and creativity, and being someone who admires those things and people, and someone who takes such pride in her ability to do really great work. I've learned so much from him.
I'm from Cable Access TV here in Duxbury, Massachusetts, and I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. What are you doing with Dickie Tight Shorts over there?
Kodak?
Kodak? No, I'm not going to memorialize on celluloid anything that could incriminate me in the future. Who knows where our relationship may go? I may do something catastrophic to the stability of our relationship. You could turn on me like one of these wolves over here, and the next thing you know, I'm on the front page of the Clipper. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Nope. Not gonna happen. Nope. We've left the lion's den, somewhat scathed, but still breathing. Follow us now. Shh. This way. This way.
Ken's schizophrenia is taking over. Multiple personality disorder. Oh, that's much better.
Better now.
The hat's the one piece that keeps them together.
It's
No matter which personality.
It's the thread.
It's the thread of
cross.
his...
Oh.
Maybe it's a cross.
That's the one. That's the connection.
Clearly, here's a man living in his own head. But somehow, and it may always remain a mystery, wherever he goes, he seeps into people's hearts.
Okay, here we are, Michael. Take 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We love you, Kenny. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Kenny. And we'll be true. When you're not with us, we're blue. Oh, Kenny, we love you. Michael, how did you like the dog treats?
Happy birthday,
Happy
Ken.
birthday, Ken.
Sure, yes.
I sing.
You sing. How about saying French?
Bon anniversaire.
Happy birthday.
Bon anniversaire.
Happy birthday.
Bon anniversaire, Ken.
Happy birthday, dear Ken.
Bon anniversaire to the best looking 50-year-old man in Duxbury I know. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ken.
I can't believe he's 50. That's good.
Happy birthday, Ken. Looking forward to seeing you guys, next weekend, right?
I will say you're probably the oldest person that's followed me into a crawl space. Under your own house last fall. You know what I'm talking about. That special Saturday morning. I'm not going to tell if you don't, but I think you got your birthday present there, if you know what I mean. But anyway, happy birthday, big guy. Hope it's fun. We'll see you then.
Happy birthday. Thanks for being such a good friend and an awesome dad.
Ken, I just hope that maybe you turn 60 before I even turn 50. So, but we'll be celebrating with you all the way along. Hopefully I can cook a hot dog for you.
Ken, happy 50th birthday. And I have to say, your favorite saying, hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. Happy 50th birthday, Ken.
And this time, we get the last word.
We win again!
That was
Hey, happy birthday, old fart.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Ken's turning 50. Whoop-de-doo.
All right, yeah, one more time. You're doing great.
Oh, yeah. Another drink, I might be better. Happy birthday, Ken.
Oh, hi there. It's Ken's birthday. 50. Come on, don't give me a lot of line. I thought he had to be at least 60. You're an awful looking 50. Ken, I wish I'd looked that way when I was 50. Congratulations, and I hope you have another 50.
Hey, Ken. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ken.
What's all this chatter about Ken turning 50? Ken? I don't even know the guy.
Hey Ken, happy 50th. I'm delighted for you. Now that it's almost 9 o'clock, should we go take a nap?
Happy birthday, Ken.
You're a good guy, and I hope the next 50 years are as great as the last, and I'm glad I was had the opportunity to be a part of it. Enjoy your day, and happy 50th.
Ready? Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken. We love you very much.
Happy birthday. We love you.
Across the evening sky, all the birds are leaving. Oh, but then you know it was time for them to go.
Happy birthday, Ken.
We love you.
She loves you.
I wish you a really terrific, happy half century and many more. And it's been great having you as a brother-in-law. And I look forward to more years with you in our lives. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ken. We both love you.
Happy birthday, honey. Happy 50th.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Many more.
Yep. Have a wonderful next 50 years. We love you.
Hi, Ken. I just wanted to say that the original theme of this film was to find out who the real Ken Myers is. And having worked with Chrissy on this and looking at all of the footage that we shot over the last few months, I think that comes back around to, the theme comes back around to say that you are a man of many friends, you are a man of great integrity, and you are deeply loved by all. And I just have to say thank you for the last 2 years of my life, your friendship. I have never laughed so much in my life, and I'm a very lucky girl. Happy birthday.
I have no thought of leaving. I do not count the time. For who knows where the time goes? Who knows where the time goes?
We found best wishes coming from far and wide, including, surprisingly, an old girlfriend of Ken who knew a side of him which, until recently, few of us have ever seen before.
This song was especially written for Linda, Minister Linda, on her 50th birthday. Congratulations, girl. You looking good. They got the word. They got the word. Oh, be at the great coronation. Gonna be held at the Lincoln Neighborhood Center. They got the word. They got the word. Oh, I'm gonna be there when they crown Linda 50 years old. Ooh, oh, we gonna have a good time. We gonna have a good time. I ain't 50 yet, but I'ma have it. I have a good time. It's your birthday. I'm gonna eat your birthday cake. I'm gonna drink your birthday punch. I'm gonna eat your birthday food. I'm gonna shout at the birthday girl. Girl, you're 50 years old. Yeah, you're 50 years old. You're not 20 no more. You're not 25. It's gone. You're not 30. Ain't coming back. You're not 35. No slack. You're not 40 years old. You're not 45 years old. Not 46, 47, not 48, 49. But you're 50 years old. Getting gray hair, out of breath. You just can't do what you used to do. You just can't do used to do. Every time it rains, you might feel a little pain. Time it rains, you might feel a little pain. You getting up there, young girl. You getting up there, Minister Linda. You is 50. The next thing 51, 52, and then 60, and then 70, and then 80. Thank God 90 and 100. You is half of 100. You are half of 100. 50 years old. You made it. 50 years old. You made it. You made it to 50, 51, 52, and 60. Come on, girl. Go to 70. Come on, Linda. You hit 80. Come on, 90. You be 90, but you're half of 100. You are half of 100. You're gonna be there. Oh, be there. I'm gonna be there when they crown you 50 years old. Hey, 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 hey. I can't wait till I get there myself. Happy birthday, Linda. Minister Linda, 50 years old today.
So we've been together for like 20 years, two of us. And she's just a light of my life. We've been through the rock band stage and the corporate stage, as you can possibly see. And we finally just decided to go for the granola stage. And we've decided that we're going to start ourselves our own commune. So the two of us, we're going to be a commune. And we would like to invite all of yous out there to join us to become part of our commune. Any one of yous who would like to join our communes, my hat's off to you. Honestly, my hat's off to you.